Hello, welcome to Minecraft. This is my new series of videos. Bob builds stuff, or I don't know what I'm going to call it. But I play too much Minecraft, and one of the things I love doing is making PvP maps where everyone's against each other. You're not really using the normal rules of Minecraft. You know, there's no digging and hiding and building houses, but it's just nice to have a big island like this I've made, a big arena. And all the players start off, they run in separate directions, and then find each other and kill each other. The last one standing wins. Now, the last map we did, the pit, really successful, people loved it, but it was quite short. I kind of missed the first game we did, which was huge, and so it takes a long time. It's like a really, you get into it and you think, right, this is going to last a good long time, you can really set out long-term strategies and things. So that's why I've made this big island, which I made from scratch, but we'll show some of that later. So this is a big dam I'm making. I've made a big U-shaped valley, and I've always wanted to make a dam in Minecraft. I think that would be something really cool. But you never can normally because there's never like a huge reserve of water high up. All water seems to be the same level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a dam and then use a world editor to spawn in lots of water behind it. And you can see here that across the valley I made a straight line, which is where the dam was going to be. But I realised that wasn't going to work, just the way the valley's shaped and stuff. So instead I decided to make a diagonal dam, which, yeah, like diagonal, it's not that difficult in Minecraft, but dams are curved, so as you can see, I find it to be quite difficult. I mean, curves are okay in Minecraft. If you take your time, you can work out what you're doing, but doing a diagonal curve isn't as easy. So you can see here, I'm just deciding the height that it's going to be, because we want the water to be a decent height. And then I'm actually taking it back quite a bit, and just working out, where it's going to touch on each side. I thought I'd use these stone bricks for this, because if I just did it all in normal stone, it would just look a bit boring, just like part of the landscape. You can see here, I'm just going across and just basically marking out, this is where the top of the dam's going to be. But I can't have it a straight line, I'm going to have it curved, like all dams are. So I'm doing the normal thing I do when making curves, and you just start off from one point and just copy it out on each side. However, yeah, with diagonal it's not as easy, to be honest. Yeah, that's it past Bob. That's it, just delete that line, that guideline. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. I'm sure you won't need to refer back to that. See, the problem is, Minecraft's awesome, but it's all in straight lines. And it's great making curves and shapes and stuff, but sometimes you just think, for fuck's sake, like, it would be so much easier if there was like an automatic template or something. But I think stuff looks cooler if you make it all different shapes and curves and things. It's a bit more impressive. Because people who don't bother to take the time to do that go, damn, that looks pretty good. I thought a dam would be something quite cool to have in this map. It would be like a place where players could look down the valley and see other players coming towards them, and I'm going to make an interior to the dam where I have like fake engines or something, I don't know. Or maybe even I thought I could rig the dam with TNT and players could blow it up, which would be something cool to do, but it wouldn't really have any effect. The way water works in Minecraft, it's not like it would flood everywhere, the stone would disappear and water would be left there basically. So here, now I've actually finally got the curves working. This is me just going down and just extending it. But because I'm stupid and ambitious, I thought, well, I'm not just going to make it curved, I'm also going to make it sloped, out of the way, and curved. So you can see here, I'm just going in, and quite simple actually, simpler than I thought it would be. Just adding stone into each corner. And then I go underneath and just extend it down again another, so many blocks. And I just repeat that, so afterwards you can see now it's got quite a kind of a nice sloped effect, but at the same time curved around the valley. But you can't just have stone by itself, so I've put stone bricks up, up the middle, just to kind of split it up and add a little bit of detail. Because I think there's nothing worse than just putting, building something that's just all the same colour, all the same material. It's just, it's like, it's Minecraft, it's a sandbox game, you can build anything you want. Why use all the same material in something? Because here you can see I'm trying to make just add like little details and stuff, just make it a little bit more interesting. Because it's it's difficult making something this shape in Minecraft, but no, I don't like the look of them. So I settle with just adding, half blocks on top of these. It's not really, it's a subtle tiny difference if anyone would even notice it. And now I've settled on a design for the most of the dam. I'm just adding a little, just like a little overhang on the top. Just make it look a little bit more interesting. Because with something like this, it's all aesthetic really to this point. There's no function in it yet. Although, as you'll see, I'm about to try and add water that comes out and actually looks good. So there's many different ideas for this, because I thought a dam needs to have water coming out of it. I mean, that's really cool. And especially as I'll try and link it up with pistons so you can turn it on and off. Or it can go on and off automatically. But with this shape, I mean, if it was just a straight, you know, falling straight down, or it wasn't a curve, it would be easy. It would just run down the side. But this, because it's basically, you know, like the side of a mountain, the water just, as you'll see, it just goes awful. It just looks really, really bad. So as you can see, yeah, the water pours out and it just looks like a mess. It just looks like a hole coming out the side of a mountain. And I want it to be a really kind of like it's almost channeled out, you know, like it does in proper dams. You get little slivers of water coming down the side, like it's been controlled, not just like that, like it's just, you know, like the dam's burst. And again, see, you just get the same thing because it keeps on hitting off those stones underneath. This is another design I tried, which it's kind of channeling the water down, but unfortunately I've got these ugly, you know, stone bits sticking out, and they kind of break the shape of it, the nice curved shape. And the water, it looks too much like it's coming from one side, when I want it to fall straight down. Otherwise it just looks weird. So the design you'll see, which I settled on, you won't actually see it in much detail, but it's a kind of a compromise on this. I use half slabs, so it's not as obvious the bit sticking out, but it's just enough to channel water. And the half slabs are actually sticking out a bit, so the water falls over the overhang. You know, it doesn't fall straight down and hit off the stones, it's actually jutting out enough that it falls straight down. And here you can just see, there we go, that's just the water how it's finished. Just goes straight down. But now of course we need to add the back of the dam. You know, otherwise it's just a stone wall. And eventually, I'm going to leave the dam hollow, so eventually I can put something inside it. You know, something interesting, maybe a place for players to hide, or I don't know. But I'm just going to keep it quite simple. The back of the dam is going to follow the same curve, but luckily it doesn't need to be sloped. I can just take it straight down. So this wasn't difficult. I just basically follow the template I've got for the first curve, but just take it back so many blocks. So I can just look back and forth and just copy as it goes. And then in the middle I'm going to put like a wooden walkway or somewhere that the players can run across and look out across, you know, across the field. So here you can see, now that I've finished the curve at the top, I'm just basically extending it all the way down, starting from the bottom and just filling it up with normal stone. As this will all be covered by water, it's not as important for detail in this, although I do add some stone, you know, a line of stone blocks going up just to break it up a little bit. And you can see already it's starting to look, you know, quite big and imposing. It's not that complicated, you know, it's not the most complicated biggest epic build I've ever done. But I think it looks pretty good just for, you know, for a simple dam, something I've never tried before. I'm going to extend that across. I'm not going to add interior just now, I'll do that later. So here you can see the water coming down. I've managed to get it coming down in a straight line. Now of course the water needs to go somewhere, so I'm going to create little channels that will funnel into like a natural river. And I'm just going to carve out of the mud. And where that river goes, I'm not sure, to be honest. That depends on what else I build in this map. I'll just extend it a little bit and block it off, and we've got that there to take, you know, wherever we want. These blocks I'm just using half blocks to step them down, so it looks like a gradual thing. So the way to carve out the riverbed, easy. Not using world editor, just use dynamite. I love making stuff with TNT. And now, ta-da! That looks alright. That's the basis, I suppose. That's the line for it from a river. So here I'm just carving out, extending it a bit, bringing it up to where the water comes out. But I think I need to make it a little bit deeper, so take off the water so it's easier to build with. Add some TNT, widen the river, make it a little bit deeper. Carve out this bit here, and as you'll see, that's basically it. I then add the water back, and that's the front of it done. So you can see here, I've added a little like kind of hut on top, like a little, I don't know, cover for people to stand underneath. Added some detail with like, you know, fences, nether fence at the front, just to break it up a little bit more. And you can see the water coming down there and pouring into the river. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And here I've gone back and I've added like more detail to it. Here's a little tunnel leading up to it. And you can see I've put stairs on each side. Just, you know, for players to run across and to add a little more, you know, make it a little bit more interesting. Players can go inside, they can run through. Just a nice little place to hide. Or I've put down here, I've added somewhere interesting to go. Put a glass wall there so you can look out, just have a look at the water. There's nothing interesting there, but put these kind of fake turbine things there as well as a little shelf you saw there with like furnaces and chests. You know, can hide cool things there. And that's pretty much it. Just, you know, just something to look at when you come down here. As I said, I might still rig it with TNT or redstone or something, but I'm not really sure yet. And then players can come up here and they can either go, you know, as I said, underneath, or they can just run across and into this little cool, you know, maybe a sniping point looking across to the forest, which we'll get to next video.